The offseason. No, not that one. The NBA offseason. A time filled with crazy trades, major signings, and most importantly, wild rumors. The NBA offseason has been a little different. It's the first one post-COVID era, and we've seen a lot of players do a lot of stuff in the offseason, like playing in the Drew League, where we've seen some crazy performances and some kind of disappointing ones. But through it all, it's been the rumors that have kept the offseason going. NBA rumors are what fuel the latter part of the offseason, as they often leak into the next year. We've gotten Kevin Durant trade rumors, Kyrie Irving trade rumors, Donovan Mitchell, Russell Westbrook, Miles Turner. The list goes on and on and on. But what if I told you none of those rumors were the biggest rumors of this offseason? That's right, y'all. I'm talking about Norman Powell and his... I'm kidding. It's not Norman. I'm talking about LeBron James and his impending free agency next offseason. What is going on, everybody? So, backing up with another video. LeBron James is entering the last year of his deal, and 2 days ago, he became eligible for a contract extension. Now, so far, contract talks have been real quiet between LeBron James and the Lakers, but there was an article put out that stated that LeBron James and Los Angeles had a very productive talk. Am I buying this? No. We know how LeBron James moves, and if he was really confident in this roster that they put together, I feel like he would have signed an extension by now. So how did we get to this point? For the Lakers, it all started in 2020, right after their championship run. That 2020 Lakers team had an identity. It was built off a culture, and it had a defensive-oriented team surrounding LeBron James and Anthony Davis. It was perfect. You had the right amount of defensive playmakers, the right amount of shooters, the right amount of playmaking, and veteran leadership to push them over the edge against the Miami Heat. And then the offseason came, and the Lakers got cute. That offseason, the Lakers opted to add more offensive firepower in hopes of lessening LeBron James' role to extend his career. But at the same time, every time a team has done that, it just hasn't really worked out the way they planned it to. In that offseason, they signed Montrezl Harrell and Dennis Schroeder, trading away JaVale McGee, who was an integral part of their success, and in turn, they had an unsuccessful season the following year. Two successful six-mans, Montrezl Harrell just didn't fit because he wasn't the rim runner that the Lakers were looking for. And let's be honest, Montrezl Harrell has to be the worst defender in the NBA. For Dennis Schroeder, immediately after he signed with the Lakers, he asked to be a starter, and as a starter, it was not pretty. The team also went out there, was able to sign Marc Gasol, but at this point in his career, he was just a fragment of his former self. Injuries started to pile up, there were chemistry issues, and the Lakers scraped and clawed their way to the first round. Either way, though, it was fine, right? The Lakers still had their two best players on the roster locked in for multiple years. All they had to do was just sign the pieces around them and make it work. The first step was signing Alex Caruso to an extension, a big defensive piece for them, but they let him walk to Chicago for nothing. What about Kyle Kuzma? In a third option role, he's going to get to perform and evolve. He's still young. Oh, no, they traded him away. And it was that trade that signaled the downfall for the Lakers. The Lakers made the decision to trade for Russell Westbrook, a move that didn't make any sense then, and it still doesn't make sense now. In that trade, they traded away Kyle Kuzma, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, and a first-round pick that ended up being Isaiah Jackson. So far, Russell Westbrook's experience in LA has been disastrous. Him and Frank Vogel didn't see eye to eye, and reports came out this offseason that he didn't keep promises that he made. Now, the Lakers are scrambling to find a trade partner for Russell Westbrook, and a trade that will put him on his fifth team in as many years. The amount of uncertainty surrounding this team's future is a big reason as to why LeBron James looks like he wants out. And we all know LeBron. He's a very methodical player in the way he moves with his contracts. We saw it during his first stint with Cleveland. He took less years on his deal to be able to pair up with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh in Miami. Once he got to Miami, he didn't really commit to them long term and bolted back to Cleveland once they re-upped, got a couple of first-round picks, spending one on Kyrie Irving and another used in the Kevin Love trade. We don't really talk about like the first overall pick they got in the middle of those two. In Cleveland, once he helped secure them their first championship in franchise history, he left once again to LA, pairing up with Anthony Davis and getting them a championship. And now it looks like he's planning to leave once again. So we're looking to next year. The potential of LeBron James to leave is heating up. A lot of teams are going to have cap space, but what teams makes the most sense for LeBron James to join? Looking at a team that's pretty young, his hometown, that has a cap space to sign LeBron if he were to come back, the Cleveland Cavaliers. I wouldn't really be looking too deep into LeBron James' return if he himself did not come out during the All-Star game and say the door is not closed on one. I mean, come on, bro. You don't say those things if you're not looking to come back. That's just me. When you look at it from afar, everything is just too perfect for it to not happen. The Cavaliers spent the 5th overall pick on Darius Garland just a couple years back, and he's blossomed to this all-star guard. The Cavs also used their 3rd overall pick last year on Evan Mobley. Just after his rookie season, Evan Mobley is already what I believe to be a top 10 defender in today's NBA, and if he can just get as much as a consistent jump shot, I believe he can be a perennial all-star in this league. There's also Jared Allen, who the Cavs used minimal assets to get. He blossomed to an all-star, as well as other parts of the core like Colin Sexton, if he'll be back, Ochai Agbaji, who's just drafted with the 14th overall pick, Isaac Okoro, players of that such. Another big component that's not really talked about is Kevin Love and how great the relationship with him and LeBron James is, and he could entice him to come back as well. LeBron has seemed to do it again. He left the Cavaliers, let them rebuild, and form a formidable squad where he can now join the team, potentially run off into the sunset, and retire as greatest player of all time.